In my previous video, I briefly mentioned Kony 2012, an online grassroots movement designed to arrest and bring to justice the Ugandan warlord Joseph Kony. But while the movement gained lots of traction in the media and on the internet, it ultimately fizzled out and accomplished nothing. And this wasn't the internet's first rodeo with failed movements, because just a year prior, another seemingly promising endeavor ended up meeting the same fate. In the wake of the 2008 economic crisis, lots of people began to grow disillusioned with the highly corporatized society we live in. The wealthy were getting wealthier and increasing their influence over politicians, all while more and more people were living in poverty and struggling to pay their bills. And so people realized that maybe this crude, unregulated version of capitalism that only benefit a fringe minority was not a good way to run a society. In 2011, this thought also reached
Callie Lassen is the founder.
Callie Lassen, a journalist for the left-leaning environmentalist paper Adbusters. He suggested that on September 17, people flood Zuccotti Park, a big plaza in the center of New York's financial district, bring signs, bring slogans, bring tents to stay the night, and give those corporate pigs a piece of their mind. The movement actually received a lot of attention, even on the global stage. It inspired people in other countries to organize similar movements in their capitals and business districts. The problem is that even though people made plans and lots of noise, they didn't make a lot of action. Kony 2012 suffered from largely the same problem. There were supposed to be these massive worldwide protests where thousands of people would come out and eventually it would lead to Kony's arrest, but in the end only a few hundred showed up while the rest lost interest and stayed home. And likewise, Occupy Wall Street had around 1,000 people gather in Zuccotti Park, and a lot of them did camp out for several days, but as time went on, pressure from city authorities mounted and nothing was really getting accomplished, so the protesters eventually packed their bags and went home. Over the next few months, the movement gradually fizzled out and ultimately didn't accomplish anything. Frankly, this outcome is really not surprising. See, Kony 2012 might have also failed as a movement, but it did have one important thing that this movement did not: an end goal. In their case, it was to find that Kony dude, arrest him, and put him to justice. With Occupy Wall Street, what exactly did these protesters want to accomplish? Just letting the world see their anger, shaking a fist at Jeff Bezos? Well, frankly, there was no real goal. They wanted to let people know that they were just mad about rich people or something. Even their slogans didn't really resonate with the public. We are the 99%. That doesn't even roll off the tongue that well. It's too analytical anyway. Like, statistically speaking, we're in the right. Okay, cool, and it needs to be something blunt, something simple, something straightforward. Look at France during their retirement age protests. Now that's how you do a chant. But even then, protests should be directed at the government to make them crack down on corporate overreach. If you protest a CEO at his headquarters, he's not going to listen to you. He'll just be mad that you're blocking the front door. You shouldn't be going to Wall Street, you should be going to Washington and letting the guys in charge know what you want. And frankly, unless you get millions of people out in the streets like during the civil rights movement, protesting probably won't accomplish much. Voting with your wallet is already not super effective. You think you'll have a better chance with some signs and slogans? If you want to be heard, you have to be loud. You have to spread the word through social media, organize events, maybe even call for a national strike, make your movement so big that the mainstream media can't ignore it and spreads the word even further. Things that will actually get people's attention. If you just do a random gathering in New York City, sure, some people will care, but most, including the lawmakers, will not. Fighting for change is never an easy task, and protesting can be an effective way to do it, but only if you play your cards right. And unfortunately, this movement was simply not well thought out or organized enough to actually accomplish anything. The good news is that these kind of movements seem to be making a comeback given, the current state of affairs, and that means that they can learn from the mistakes made in 2011 and change the way they do their activism so that at some point, hopefully, lawmakers will actually listen to them and make things better for the common person. And that was the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, definitely consider hitting that like and subscribe button. If you want to support me additionally, you can leave a super thanks under this video or become a member. As always, this is your captain speaking. Peace out.